think that was the most creative use of a slam I've ever seen in Battlefield. But that wasn't actually by me. It was by Arrow Key Gaming, who's the first person I've ever seen kill anything with a slam stuck to the underside of a jet. But I would imagine from now on there's probably going to be quite a few other people. But what I wanted to do in this video was show you a bit of sniper gameplay on Rush, on the Silk Road of course here. I'm using the M98B, 8x scope on it. I've got a bipod because I haven't unlocked the straight pull bow yet, but straight pull bow is, in my opinion, a lot better. Statistically, this is supposedly the best sniper rifle for moving targets in Battlefield 4 because it's got the fastest bullet speed of all the sniper rifles, but it's got a pretty low fire rate and it's got more bullet drop than the SRR, which is the other really powerful sniper in Battlefield 4. So I tend to prefer the SRR over this one, but I think it'd be quite cool to just see how this one sort of performs. But what I wanted to talk about in this video was another Medal of Honor recipient, because this is going to be another War Stories episode. Today, I wanted to tell you about Daniel Inouye, who was the senator for 9 terms for Hawaii, and who received the Medal of Honor during World War II for, as I'm sure you'll agree, some pretty amazing actions. Now Inouye, and he was a Japanese American, so I hope I'm pronouncing that right, because the name is spelled differently to sort of names I'm used to pronouncing, but he tried to join the American Army 3 times back in 1943, but of course because America at that time was fighting Japan, he wasn't allowed to join because Japanese American citizens, even if they were like second, third generation immigrants there, they were considered still to be illegal aliens within the country, and it wasn't until his 3rd time that the US Army actually started setting up units purely for Japanese American soldiers. Now it amazes me that he wasn't deterred by this and just gave up trying to join the army, because initially they really didn't want him in it. But this is a quote from him about his joining up. He said, "My father just looked straight ahead, and I looked straight ahead. And then he cleared his throat and said, 'America's been good to us. It's given me 2 jobs. It's given you and your sisters and brothers education. We all love this country. Whatever you do, do not dishonor your country. Remember, never dishonor your family as well. And if you must give your life, do so with honor.' And Daniel said, 'I knew exactly what he meant. And I left him with a yes sir, goodbye.'" Now, having done his basic training, Inouye was deployed to the east of France, where he quickly became a 2nd lieutenant, which earned him a Thompson submachine gun, for his part in rescuing a group of Texan soldiers who were surrounded and outnumbered 5 to 1 by German infantry, but he fought his way in with his troops, and they fought their way out with the Texan soldiers rescuing them. Amazingly, Inouye got shot in the chest, a bullet that would have passed through his heart if it were not for a couple of dollar coins he was keeping in his top pocket as change, and they actually stopped the bullet from killing him or in fact harming him at all. And he kept those dollar coins in his pocket as a lucky charm up to a week before he performed the Medal of Honor action, which I'm going to tell you about now. So having been promoted, and now with his new shiny Thompson, Inouye was sent to Italy to fight along the Col Musatello Ridge. Now this area was particularly well defended by the Germans. They had mortar teams, artillery observation posts, machine gun bunkers, and it was part of Inouye's job to break through these defences on the top of the ridge. So having taken out a machine gun bunker by crawling up to it and shooting into it with his Thompson, as he was kneeling up to move across the 2nd bunker, he got shot through the torso with a machine gun bullet that came within inches of his spine. Now unfortunately for the Germans, in doing this they didn't realise that it was just going to piss him off. So he crawled back to get some more grenades to take out the bunker that had shot him. Inouye killed the German who had shot him, killed the guys in the bunker next to the German who had shot him, and then he was moving up to what was now his 5th bunker, and he must have killed around 20 German soldiers at this point. One of the Germans in there, having seen what had done and figuring that bullets probably weren't going to do the job, stepped up and aimed at him with a rifle-mounted grenade and blasted him point blank in the arm as he was throwing the grenade at the German bunker. Now just to make this perfectly clear, Inouye had pulled the pin on his grenade as he was about to throw it into the German bunker at the time his arm got hit by the rifle mounted grenade from the German. So he looked down at his now nearly blown off arm, which he couldn't move or do anything because it was literally attached by a few little bits of skin, with the live grenade without a pin in it, looked back at the German, took the grenade out of his now useless hand with his left hand, threw it into the bunker and killed the Germans in there. Whilst doing this, he even shouted back to the other American soldiers who looked in at horror at his horribly mutilated arm and told them not to get close to him in case the grenade he'd pulled the pin on in his hand went off and killed them. Now, he'd probably thought at this point he'd want some medical attention. Instead, because there was still a war going on, he decided to lock and load his Thompson with one hand and charge at the remaining Germans along the ridge, wielding his Thompson just with his left hand, firing Rambo style from the hip. Finally, having killed 25 Germans, wounded 8 more, all on his own, he was shot again, this time in the leg, which caused him to lose his footing, fall down against a tree. But when the Americans pushed up to him to see if he needed pulling back for serious medical attention, he refused to leave that position until the Germans had been pushed back and the Americans had securely taken the ridge. Now you're probably thinking, that's pretty tough, doing all of that. It didn't end there though. He was given so much morphine at the first aid response post that when they came to sort out his arm in surgery later on that day, they couldn't give him any more morphine to dull the pain of having it amputated because it was so badly damaged they couldn't do anything else with it, in case that extra morphine lowered his blood pressure and killed him. So he had his arm amputated and sewn up and sorted without a proper anaesthetic. It's just the most amazing bravery and set of events he lived through. And he lived until he was 88. He died just over a year ago on December the 17th, 2012. And after the war, he got a law degree and he became the senator, as I said at the start, for Hawaii. And he was re-elected by just a landslide victory for 9 terms in a row. And he was planning on running for, I think, a landmark 10th term as well, which I don't think anybody's ever been in the Senate for 10 terms. Well, there you go, Daniel Inouye. If you've got any more of these amazing stories, you'll have to tell me in the comments or send me a private message, because I love reading these, because they just give you such a good feeling when you've read them, and it makes you sort of want to do things to the fullest, because you've seen what sort of amazing things that other people have done. But that's it from this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next chapter.